A bodybuilder who stabbed his girlfriend to death in front of her young daughter in a jealous rage has been jailed for 3 decades. The judge found the murder was an extreme form of family violence.
What happens when the world of muscle, strength, and power collides with uncontrollable rage? Are these athletes victims of ROID rage, or is there something deeper at play? While bodybuilding is all about discipline, focus, and pushing the human body to its limits, some bodybuilders have taken a much darker path, one that leads to violence and even murder. Today, we'll dive into the chilling stories of bodybuilders who committed unthinkable crimes. Did steroids fuel their actions, or were these tragedies waiting to happen, regardless of their muscular physiques? First, we look at the story of Sven Lindeman, a bodybuilder whose jealousy spiraled into a deadly rage. What caused this muscular man to commit such a horrific act? Was it steroids or something far more sinister? Sven Lindeman. In a horrifying case of domestic violence, bodybuilder Sven Lindeman murdered his girlfriend in a brutal act of jealousy. This tragic event has sent shockwaves through Australia, bringing attention to the dark side of steroid use.
She's kind to everybody.
The murderer, bodybuilder Sven Lindeman, was today jailed for 31 years. Lindeman was furious Mrs. Zach wanted to end their relationship and be with another man. In a jealous rage, Lindeman used 6 knives to stab his girlfriend 17 times inside her home in Melbourne's southeast last year.
Lindeman's violent actions, described by the judge as an extreme form of family violence, resulted in a 31-year prison sentence. Despite the horrific nature of his crime, Lindeman showed no remorse, continuing to blame the victim for what had happened. The court concluded that Lindeman's actions were rooted in deeply problematic views toward women. But was this murder simply the result of a jealous man unable to accept the end of a relationship, or did something else fuel his violent outburst? Experts believe that the use of anabolic steroids may have played a significant role in this case, as they often amplify feelings of aggression and rage. Steroid use can lead to psychological changes, including mood swings, irritability, and aggression. While steroids may not directly cause violent behavior, they can make it more difficult for users to control their emotions, especially in high-stress situations. For Lindeman, a bodybuilder who likely used steroids to enhance his physique, these effects may have intensified his already possessive and jealous tendencies, leading to the deadly attack. Steroids can lead to a heightened sense of invincibility, reduced empathy, and impaired judgment, which are all factors that can contribute to tragic outcomes like this. While the courts did not explicitly link Lindeman's actions to steroid use, his case has reignited discussions about the dangers of steroids, particularly in bodybuilders who may be using these substances to maintain their muscular physiques. Craig Titus and Kelly Ryan. Next on our list is the shocking case of Craig Titus and Kelly Ryan, 2 successful bodybuilders whose lives took a deadly turn. What began as a promising bodybuilding career for this couple ended in one of the most disturbing murder cases the fitness world has ever seen. Craig Titus was a well-known bodybuilder, and his wife, Kelly Ryan, was a fitness champion in her own right. Together, they were a power couple in the bodybuilding community, admired for their physiques and achievements. But behind the scenes, their lives were spiraling out of control, fueled by drugs and jealousy. In December 2005, everything came crashing down when the burned body of their personal assistant, Melissa James, was discovered in the trunk of Kelly Ryan's car, which had been set on fire in the Las Vegas desert. What happened in the days leading up to this gruesome act? Melissa James had been living with Craig and Kelly, helping them with their business and personal affairs. But tension was building between the three. Craig and Kelly accused Melissa of stealing money from them, and they began to grow suspicious of her intentions. On the night of her death, things escalated. According to reports, Craig and Kelly confronted Melissa, and what started as an argument quickly turned violent. Melissa was tasered, restrained, and eventually killed. In a desperate attempt to cover up the crime, the couple stuffed her body in Kelly's car, drove it to the desert, and set it on fire. The story of the couple's downfall spread quickly. Craig Titus, once a charismatic figure in the bodybuilding world, was arrested alongside Kelly Ryan. Their careers were effectively over, and they were now facing charges of murder, kidnapping, and arson. Lee Priest, a fellow bodybuilder and friend of Craig's, shared his disbelief at the news. Craig had been a laid-back, fun person in their earlier days, but as Lee suggests, drugs and the pressure of their lifestyle may have pushed Craig and Kelly into dangerous territory. Some speculate that steroid abuse combined with other drugs could have played a role in the violent actions of Craig Titus. For Craig, whose life seemed to be unraveling due to drug use, these factors may have contributed to the deadly encounter. In 2008, both Craig and Kelly were sentenced for their roles in the murder of Melissa James. Craig Titus was sentenced to 21 to 55 years in prison after pleading guilty to second-degree murder, kidnapping, and arson. Kelly Ryan, who was also deeply involved in the crime, received a sentence of 6 to 26 years. Berle Fox. Next up is a shocking tale of a former bodybuilding legend whose rise to fame ended in tragedy. Berle Fox was once known for his incredible muscles and dominance in bodybuilding competitions. But this muscle man shocked the world when he was convicted of a brutal double murder. In 1997, Berle Fox was convicted of murdering his fiancée, Laoka Brown, and her mother, Violet, on the Caribbean island of St. Kitts. Fox shot both women in cold blood, reportedly during a fit of rage after a relationship dispute.
I was in town working with a friend, and then someone came down and said, the muscle man just shoot a woman. And then I said, who is this muscle man? And he said, Berle Fox. He said, but is your friend? I said, yes. I said, oh my God, just like that. I said, oh my God, Foxy finished, just like that, you know. I said, I'm so sorry for him.
Berle Fox, a bodybuilder who was once admired for his strength and dedication to the sport, was now at the center of a gruesome murder case. The bodybuilding community and even Fox's friends were left in shock as details of the crime came to light. Fox had been a major figure in the bodybuilding world, competing in prestigious events like Mr. Olympia and earning the nickname Brutal Berle for his incredible size and strength. But all of that came crashing down when his violent actions led to the deaths of 2 women. During his trial, Fox maintained his innocence, claiming that the shootings were accidental. However, the court didn't buy his story. He was found guilty and initially sentenced to death. His death sentence was later commuted to life imprisonment, and Fox spent over 2 decades behind bars. For 25 years, Berle Fox sat in a prison cell in St. Kitts, far removed from his glory days in the bodybuilding world. But in a surprising turn of events, Fox was recently released from prison in 2022 after serving more than 2 decades behind bars. The news of his release stirred mixed emotions. Some still remember Fox for his achievements in bodybuilding, while others cannot forget the tragic events that ended 2 innocent lives. Berle Fox's fall from grace is one of the most shocking in the history of bodybuilding. Once celebrated as a hero of the sport, he became a convicted killer whose actions left a permanent scar on the lives of those he hurt. As we've seen today, the world of bodybuilding, often associated with strength and discipline, can sometimes descend into violence and tragedy. Whether it's jealousy, personal demons, or the controversial effects of steroid use, these stories highlight the dark side of extreme physical and mental pressure. But the question remains, was it really the steroids and ROID rage? Or were these individuals already on a path to destruction long before their bodies grew bigger than life? Could these crimes have been prevented, or is this just the tragic reality when power is pushed to its limits? What do you think? Could these bodybuilders have taken a different path? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.